Hello fellow Zooba Kings and Queens, welcome to Court Royal, and in today's video, your entertainer ZoobaKING does his 500 subscriber special. Yo, what's up guys, ZoobaKING here, and in today's video, it's our 500 subscriber special. I say our because it's not just mine, guys. This is Court Royal, and you guys are just as much a part of it as I am. And, you know, it's just such an influential thing to be a part of something bigger than just my individual life, guys. I mean, 500 subscribers is huge. It's so small compared to some people, but I see that as a major accomplishment. And, you know, you saw that little intro thing, and it was a clip. Some of you might have recognized it as a clip from my very first ever video ever made on YouTube. It was really crappy, but it was really cool at the same time because it shows how much I've grown as a YouTuber. And I mean, how much I've grown as a Zooba player, too. I mean, in that clip, my Larry is level 8, and here I am with a level 15 Larry. That's 7 levels difference. And, you know, basically in that clip, it was just me killing a level 10, which was already pretty cool because that's 2 levels higher than me. And that was just the intro to my very first ever YouTube video, and I thought I'd share it with you. But that's against the point. My very first YouTube video was a how to play Larry. So in this video, it seems only fitting for my 500 subscriber video to completely remake that video, how to play Larry in the updated game with all 4 item slots, just completely revamped because, guys, I've gotten a heck of a ton better at Larry, and I'm sure you'd like to hear what I have to say about him now. So, as always, we're going to be starting with the items and attributes. So, this is my teams mode, is going to be Defibrillator, Vampire Teeth, Adrenaline Shot, and Jungle Shoes. For solos, we're just going to do Sandals, Jungle Shoes, Vampire Teeth, and Adrenaline Shot. Very straightforward. This is pretty much my uniform loadout for most of my lightweights that do higher DPS. The most crucial elements are basically when I was playing Larry, when I first started playing him, I was like, dang, this dude's fast, okay? And then about after a year of playing him, I realized, hold on, what if we just made him faster? So then I built a loadout entirely around making him as fast as humanly possible, and then I realized how OP it was. So that's where Jungle Shoes and Sandals come from. If you have 2 item slots with Larry, I recommend Vampire Teeth and Adrenaline Shot. I mean, if you can use medkits well, then I'd swap out Adrenaline Shot for Jungle Shoes. Then for 3 items, I'd do Vampire Teeth, Adrenaline Shot, and Jungle Shoes, or Sandals, depending on what you like better. And then for the 4th item slot, you simply swap out one of those. And then again, if you're playing teams mode, you want defib, you just swap out Sandals or Jungle Shoes, whichever one you feel more comfortable with swapping out. As for attribute points, my spear is going to be full range, full cooldown reduction. That is because I have my Larry a high level. But for you, in the case of you don't have all the attribute points, don't do anything on knockback, but you're going to go full range first, and then cooldown reduction, okay? Range is going to be very crucial with the thrust spear, because it allows you to both initiate and run away. As for the bow, you want to do an even mix of everything, but mostly on velocity. You want to speed up that bow, because it's a rapid fire bow, yet unfortunately it's not very fast. For range, you want to have a decent amount of range, but you don't want to do max range, because you got to keep in mind, the longer the bow range is, the farther the bullets are being spread, which also means it's going to be a lot more inaccurate at the end. So if you want to pick off like accurate shots, you want to have a little bit less than max range, and then cooldown reduction just for fun. As for shotgun, we're going to do range and cooldown reduction. Same thing with shotgun as the bow. You don't want to spread out those pellets too far, it becomes inaccurate. And the shotgun is one of Larry's most powerful weapons, so I do love cooldown reduction and range. Velocity, I just don't see that as super important because Larry, you are rather close to people. So velocity, you don't have to have a crazy fast shot. So guys, you know that already. That's items and attributes. As always, great portion of the video. Let's go ahead and move on to gameplay tips, guys. I am so hyped for this video. Let's go. Okay, guys, so step 1 in my first ever video was your tongue is your BFF. Now, obviously, I was trying to be funny here, but the real thing is you're going to want to use your tongue to your advantage. And basically what I'm trying to say is your tongue is Larry's tongue, his passive is so amazing. And basically what it does is it yoinks weapons to you if you don't already know what this does. I mean, you can obviously see it in the video. But the first thing I want to tell you is what it attracts the most. And that's going to be the medkits are always going to be yoinked first. So keep that in mind when you're going to yoink a weapon. It's always going to be medkits first. Then secondly, it's going to be weapons. I don't know if it judges it based on rank, but yes, it's going to be weapons next. And then last, but certainly not least, it's going to yoink those utility weapons and stuff like that. As for using it as a strategic weapon, I would just have to say, I mean, there's really not much to know about the tongue. Stay moving as much as you can, because the more you move, the faster the cooldown is on the tongue. It's not official, not a lot of people know this, but if you're standing still, the cooldown timer for the tongue is actually a lot slower. So just try to move. Even if you're sitting right beside it and it's like a guard and you want it, just move to it or move away from it. But the more you move, the faster the tongue cools down. Also, when you're using it, make sure not to yoink something towards you that's going to cause you a lot of harm. So if you yoink a weapon that a lot of people want, you got to be really careful, because assuming everyone wants it, they're also going to be coming after it. So you got to be a little bit more tactile when you're like, oh, do I actually need this? Is it worth sending a whole horde of people after me? Another little tip is once you yoink someone, you can turn invisible, or yoink something, sorry. You can turn invisible, and basically you're just going to sit on that weapon invisible, and no one really knows you're taking it until it's too late. That's really step 1. So step 2 in my old video said, spear first, ask questions later. And what I mean by this is you're just going to be sequencing attacks. So what do I mean by sequencing attacks? I mean, you're going to want to use your spear first, and obviously, I love the spear. I've talked to you about this hundreds of times, and essentially what the spear does is it initiates attacks, and it can help you run away. So you're going to want to spear in, jabbing your opponent, then immediately shoot your shotgun as fast as you can. One mistake you don't want to do, I kind of have a bad habit of this, is you want to aim your shotgun, so don't, shoot it without actually aiming it. I mean, you can tap it and it will shoot the nearest enemy, but in the case where you're fighting 2 enemies or you're running, you do want to aim the shotgun just to be a lot safer. And then lastly, but not least, you're going to run away from your opponent. So this is really helpful if you're near a bush or near water. It allows you, it's really nice, you can just run away from your opponent, and as you're running away, you're going to shoot the bow behind you, actually. And what that does, it allows you to spray them with a bow while escaping. And this allows you to deal maximum damage while taking minimum damage yourself. Finally, the last little tip I have for you is going to be how you use your invisibility. Do you use it well? Do you use it right? Like, all sorts of important information. Because, I mean, obviously the invisibility is going to be one of your most important weapons. And basically, when you're turning invisible, you want to think about, who am I attacking? So if you don't have a target in mind, maybe it's not a good idea to become invisible at that point. Also, I mean, basically, pretty much, being invisible is super easy. You just invisible out of bush, then attack someone. I mean, you can even flank them around. It's really not that big of a deal. Being invisible is probably one of the easiest things pretty much ever. Guys, like, you do what you think is right in your head, and that's probably right. Anyways, guys, I would have to say that's it for just general tips with Larry. The most important part about playing Larry, though, is you have to practice. He's a very technically difficult character, which means your skills are going to evolve and adapt over time. So you're not going to get everything perfect right away, but after you play him, after you learn the cooldown speed, the tongue thing, how everything works with itself, it's just, he's such a rewarding character. And some people hate Larry. I used to hate Larry, believe it or not. He used to be my least favorite character, and now look at this, he's my favorite. It's just, he takes a lot of practice, and, you know, if you're not willing to put the practice in, or you don't want to, good for you. I mean, I'm not going to judge you. No one deserves to be judged for their opinions, unless, you know, they're psychotic opinions, I guess. But anyway, guys, that's really it, guys. Thank you for watching. 500 subscriber special. It's a big one. Anyways, I don't ask this a lot, but I would like to ask you guys to subscribe if you're not already. Get your friends that play Zooba to subscribe. I'm probably not going to ask you this, guys, for a very, very long time. I don't like asking you guys to subscribe because I want it to be your decision. And it still is your decision, obviously, but, you know, it's cool to ask. But, I mean, I hit 500 subscribers today, guys, or yesterday. And, you know, I'm so close to the Zooba partnership program. I can just, like, literally, like, almost taste it. And it's just amazing. So the more subscribers we get, the better. And you know what, guys? Everything towards that, you know, 1,000 subscriber goal or whatever the next goal is, I'm there and I'm excited for it. I'm so happy that I get to spend this YouTube journey with you guys. And in the end, no matter what happens, I've had a lot of fun and I hope you guys did too. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Have an outstanding day and I'll see you in the zoo. Until then, enjoy some gameplay.